Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm Chantell Baptist. I'm here live with Casey Hammond, and we're going to be talking EFT today. I have used Casey in lots of groups doing EFT for weight loss in the past, and I was recently on her group call a few Fridays ago, and I can say that over the years, Casey's just gotten better and better and better. I was so floored in that group a couple of weeks ago. And EFT is a wonderful tool. And I feel like the more tools that people have when it comes to their wellness, the easier it is because, you're not always going to want a coach, and you're not always going to want hypnotherapy, and you're not always going to want to do any one thing. And definitely, depending on what's going on, one thing could be better for you than another thing. So the more that you know about various modalities, the easier things are for you in your life. And, let's go. Casey, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Okay. I'm actually a registered nurse and a homeopathic consultant as well as being certified in EFT. So what is EFT? You keep, I'm hearing that come out. It's short for the emotional freedom techniques. And it's a self-help tool where you literally tap on acupressure points, the same places an acupuncturist would stick a needle, but you can do it yourself. So it's highly effective when you work with someone, work with a coach for the deeper trauma. It's awesome for trauma, anxiety, panic attacks, weight loss. So there's been a lot of clinical studies on it. Just hugely effective because basically it lowers cortisol levels. It calms the nervous system. So we can think better, act better, get clarity. We try it on everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah. I mean, one of the
It's
things
also known as
noticed,
tapping. People call it tapping.
Yeah, there was that movie maybe like 15 years ago. Was that The Tapping Solution?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that was really great.
So
that was like a wonderful way to expose the world to what you do.
Yes. Yeah. People went away kind of on a retreat.
Yeah.
And did a lot of tapping with different practitioners and got a lot of good results.
Yeah, and one thing I love so much about tapping is like I'll have people after I do a hypnosis session call me and say, can I listen to this while I'm driving? Or can I listen to this while I'm cleaning my house? Can I listen to this while I'm doing stuff? And you can't. You cannot listen to hypnosis when you're driving because you might crash your car. And that's just not a fun way to spend your day. But something like affirmations you can listen to while you're driving or cleaning. But EFT is also really effective. I mean, if you're sitting at a red light and you're stressed out about something, you can just tap.
Yeah. One of the spots, I'll show a very important spot is our collarbone point. So the collarbone comes down at an angle, from our shoulder and just on the underside of that. And sometimes when I've been driving, like if I'm almost cut off, on an exit or something, I'll just tap right here in the moment. And it just, literally calms the nervous system.
Yeah.
Very, very effective. Yeah.
And I think that's so important here as we go into the holidays where the stores are nuts. People are spending money like crazy most of the time that they don't have. Everyone's just really stressed out about getting the right thing, doing the right thing, preparing the food the right way, having enough food for everyone, all the things that people stress out about during the holidays. And so having a tool like this in your back pocket that you can literally do in 30 seconds at a red light is immensely valuable.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. And if you want, we can jump in on something like that. Another thing about holidays I've tapped with people often is that, the family gathering. Sometimes our family relationships aren't as, smooth and as wonderful and as loving as we would like them to be. And so it just gets people in a better headspace to meet with their family. And sometimes, tapping can help us get over long-term resentments and anger and judgment of our family members and just really shift things around for the better. So this idea of struggling with the holidays, when we're tapping, we love to be specific, but in a setting like this, where I don't have people saying, Casey, this is really bothering me. We'll just do some general tapping. And again, it's really, really important. We're trained to be positive and, But what tapping does is we're looking at the issues we have. We're looking at the things we label as negative or stressful, and we're actually exploring them while we tap. We're talking about them. It's like taking the trash out. You know, if you have a stinky house and you have mounds of trash, your house is never gonna not smell, you know, bad. Or it's the other thing I talk about is like, we try to sweep our emotions under the rug, so to speak. So tapping pulls the corner up of the rug and pulls the dirt out. And so then the rug lies flat. Then we're calmer, we're more settled, we're we have more emotional freedom. That's you know, and physical freedom, because it works on physical things too, or tapped on people with strep throat, all kinds of pain, back pain, you know, it's a real no-brainer for that. But it's about acknowledging the issue and bringing up why it's bothersome to you, the specifics of it, and tapping on this. So should we jump in on like the idea of holiday struggle?
Yeah. I just want to add that I think, you know, I mean, positive affirmations are awesome. I mean, I share positive affirmations every single day in my group and on my page. But I think like one of the things that we miss when you think about all these positive affirmations is if you're just ignoring the thing that's bothering you, it's going to continue to be there. So, you know, what we resist persists. And we've heard that a lot in our circles, right? And what EFT does is it's like, okay, you know, you have this thing that's bothering you. And maybe you feel like it shouldn't bother you. Maybe you feel like you should just be able to get over it and bulldoze it with enough positive affirmations. But, you know, when you acknowledge what's going on and you work on processing it, and you're doing that consistently, you can understand it. And once you understand something, you're able to put it away. It doesn't have to bother you anymore. But if you're just leaving it there lingering and you're throwing affirmation after affirmation on top of it, it's like your mind is rebelling against that at times. So you have to do both, right? Of course, you have to pour a whole bunch of positivity in your life if you want to feel positive, but you also need to release the stuff that's bothering you, which is why this technique is so great.
Yeah, and sometimes with affirmations, we don't even realize it, but that resistance thing you just mentioned, we don't even realize. If I say, you know, I'm going to make $1 million to myself, let's say I affirm something like that, and then what really zips through my head so fast I might not catch it is, oh my goodness, Casey, you'd have to work 24/7, and you'd have to, you know, you wouldn't have any family time, and you would never get out in nature, you know, or whatever. So when we think we're affirming the positive, if we stop and really listen to ourselves, we're looking for those negative. Gary Craig, the person that, you know, developed EFT, called them tail enders. If we really listen to those are perfect fodder for tapping. Those are the things that are in the way of having that affirmation land, and, you know, where we really feel it and embody it, and it becomes what we want. So affirmations are a great place to start, but just be careful. You know, I'm always warning people, be careful that you're not trying to squelch the negative, because you really can't. We have to let it out. You have to let it out.
And if there's anything you know about the mind, is that it just cannot hold two conflicting beliefs. So if you're ignoring the negative, you're just going to seesaw between the two things, the negative version and the positive version. So you have to work through the negative to really go towards the positive.
And then there's a place for the positive to land and hold and stick. Great.
So we can get going. That's
okay. So when we're tapping, we, you know, voice our issues, and we acknowledge, we give ourselves some words of acceptance. It's followed by some. So you're going to see me say something, and Chantell is going to, you know, repeat it. You can do this on your own. When I do this on my own, I have my little spiral notebook, and I jot down some pointers, because, well, you know, with Marissa here, like familiar, we just want to stay in our comfort zone and the familiar. So sometimes I'll hit on something really important, and if I don't write it down, I forget about it like 2 seconds later. Like, it's crazy how fast I'll forget about it. Because my body's like, no, that's going to mean growth. That's going to mean pain. That's going to mean, you know, stepping out of my comfort zone. So I literally take notes when I tap with others, or when I tap by myself.
Okay.
So I encourage that.
Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't heard that before. Taking notes when you're doing it by yourself.
So we're going to start tapping on the side of our hand. And in tapping, we call this the karate chop point. And literally, if I was going to karate chop something, it's that fleshy side of the hand underneath my pinky. And we're going to tap here. You can do one hand, you can do either hand. Some people tap the karate chop point, both hands together.
I've seen that.
Perfect.
I like this.
Okay, great. And so then we're going to just, state what we're struggling with, and you can fill in the words, whatever words you want. But so even though I'm struggling, because the holidays are coming up, and I can get really stressed out, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though the holidays stress me out, I just want them to be perfect. But they never are. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm stressed out about the holidays, I deeply and completely accept myself. So we've done that 3 times, the issue, followed by words of acceptance. And then we're just going to tap on the points, and the top of the head is the first one. You can tap on the spots in any order you want. If I mixed them up, I would just forget where I was. So I just start at the top and go down. Yeah. I'm stressed about the holidays. And just notice if in your body you feel anything talking about this topic. I'm just going to talk a little and tap. And what emotion comes up for you? And how strong is that emotion? And just take a measurement, because then after you tap, you can understand if you're, gaining on the issue or not. I'm stressed about the holidays. With good reason. I've been here before. And it never works out the way I want. Again, that collarbone point right on the underside of the collarbone. We can use one hand, either hand, both hands. I'm stressed about the holidays. My relationships aren't so great. I stress about my relationships. And the last spot we're going to tap is under our arm, hands width, on the seam of my shirt right there. And we can reach across. We can reach like this, whatever works for you. I'm stressed about the holidays. I'm stressed about what I'm going to choose to eat. I'm good all year. And then the holiday comes. And I blow it. All that food. That I can't resist. The family gatherings. It can be so stressful. Too much alcohol. Too much pressure. I'm stressed about the holidays. With good reason. I'm stressed about the holidays. I'm acknowledging that today. And then we're just going to take a deep breath. And I ask people when they're tapping with me just to keep tapping and noticing what comes up. So something broad, like what we just tapped on. Just notice if something specific's coming up for you. Is there anything specific, Chantell, that's a trigger for you around the holidays?
Well, I mean, not really, except that, I do miss my family that are mostly in South Africa, and I was hoping to be able to get back for Christmas, but it's not looking
okay.
super
So
likely
what's the
right
emotion
now.
around that for you?
Just sadness. I miss them.
How strong is that right now?
It's feeling pretty strong, and like the more that I repeat it, the stronger it feels. I'm stressed about the holidays. I'm like, I am stressed about the holidays. I didn't realize I was stressed about the holidays.
Okay, when we tap, we're always trying to check our emotions right in the moment. So how strong is the sadness right here, right now?
It's probably like a 7 out of 10.
Okay, and do you feel it anywhere in your body?
Like right here by my...
In your heart?
Yeah.
In your heart, okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel like anything specific? What's in there?
I just don't want to be away from my family in the holidays anymore.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it ever again.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So even though I'm sad about missing my family,
Even though I'm gonna cry on this thing.
Okay.
Even though I'm sad about
All right.
missing
What
my
we can
family.
do is we're just gonna tap the points and
Yeah, it's
breathe.
good.
Yeah, take a breath on each one of the points.
I'm actually okay with that, because I think it's important for us to be okay with being vulnerable,
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to ask you to come a little closer where your eyebrows begin. Yep. Yep. That's it. Good. That's the spot most people are kind of like all over.
Yeah, I'm normally here.
Yeah. Right.
But
Yeah.
it's here. Okay, that's good.
Yep. Good.
This is all good stuff. Even for me,
Okay.
I get something out of everything.
Good.
The
The sadness in my heart.
sadness in my heart.
I feel this sadness in my heart.
I feel the sadness in my heart.
I don't want to be away from my family
I don't want to be away from my family
during the holidays,
during the holidays.
ever again.
Ever again.
And I feel this sadness in my heart.
And I feel this sadness in my heart.
I miss my family.
I miss my family.
I thought I was going to be with them,
I thought I was going to be with them,
but I'm not.
but I may not be.
Okay. And I feel the sadness in my heart.
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 Being away from my family
Being away from my family
during the holidays.
during the holidays.
And I feel the sadness in my heart.
And I feel the sadness in my heart.
I'm acknowledging that today.
I'm acknowledging that today.
My feelings are justified
My feelings are justified
of feeling sad
of feeling sad
because I'm missing my family.
because I'm missing my family.
And I especially feel it around the holidays.
And I especially feel it around the holidays.
This stress of missing my family.
The stress of missing my family.
The stress of missing my family.
Stress of missing my family.
And then anywhere you feel a physical sensation, I encourage people to tap there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually a sore spot here somewhere.
Okay.
But I'm not really feeling it today.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm missing my family.
I'm missing my family.
And I feel sadness around that.
And I feel sadness around that.
Take a deep breath. All right. So what are you noticing now? What's happening to that sensation?
Like now I feel like I don't need to cry. Now I feel like I'm at like a 4 or 5.
Okay. What's going on in the physical sensation? Did that get bigger?
Yeah, like it's more open.
Okay, open. Like I'm thinking diffused, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how big is it now?
It's probably about a 4.
Does it have a color?
Does it have a color? I always pick blue. It's always blue. Everything's always blue.
Okay. Well, I'm blue over missing my family, so maybe
I guess so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So even though I'm still missing my family,
even though I'm still missing my family,
and I feel it in my heart,
and I feel it in my heart,
in a bigger area,
in a bigger area.
That's what's true for me right now.
That's what's true for me right now.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm still missing my family.
Even though I'm still missing my family.
And I especially feel that around the holidays.
And I especially feel that around the holidays.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel it in my heart.
Even though I feel it in my heart.
But I don't want to be away from my family.
I don't want to be away from my family.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I miss my family.
I miss my family.
Especially around the holidays.
Especially around the holidays.
This sadness in my heart.
The sadness in my heart.
That's more diffuse than it was.
It's more diffused than it was.
It's spread out.
Spread out.
This feeling around my heart.
This feeling around my heart.
I don't ever want to be away from my family again.
I don't ever want to be away from my family again.
Especially around the holidays.
Especially around the holidays.
My sadness is justified.
My sadness is justified.
I truly miss my family.
I truly miss my family.
I'm going to follow you, and I'm just going to ask you to tap anywhere you feel that diffuse sensation.
Yeah, definitely. This spot is good for me today up here.
Okay, good.
Like it's definitely like it feels like, oh, that's where you need to go. Like that's
Okay.
the sorest spot for me.
Okay. And before I saw you take a deep breath here, one of the earlier rounds. So that's a trigger to me. That's sometimes an energy is shifting right there. Okay. So are you still feeling that feeling?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, if it was like right here, it's like, it's,
spread out.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's not like, I can release all the sadness from not seeing them as
Right.
often as I would like, but I
Right.
can accept that, you know, that I'm doing everything I can to be able to see them more.
Uh-huh.
You
Right.
know?
Right. Because it's still the truth, right?
Yeah, it's
And it's
still the
still
truth.
like a loss of,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really would like to be there every 3 months. I mean, that is
Uh-huh.
my goal, to
And
be
that's
able to
like
be there.
Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not an
That's kind
easy
of
thing to
far.
do.
Yeah. It's kind of far, kind of expensive.
Yes.
But you know,
Okay. What are you noticing now?
now all of a sudden this is sore.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's so interesting, right?
Huh. hmm hmm So how strong is your sadness now?
Oh, it's probably like a 2.
hmm
You know?
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, what I would normally do, is this a good place to stop? It's like you say, are we going to
Mm,
get to 0? Are we,
yeah.
if we kept tapping, you just never know where it's going to be. I
Mm-hmm.
figured out how to make a bunch of money, and I can go there, I
Yeah.
can take off work and I can do all those expenses.
Yeah.
We never know where it's going to go. But
Yeah.
to be at a place like with sadness or pain or food craving at a 7 out of 10, and then
Mm,
get down to a 2,
yeah.
they're manageable. All of a sudden we have a say and it's not overpowering us. And like with a food craving, which is how I got hooked in EFT, because I got over my ice cream addiction,
Yeah.
that you have a choice. But when it's
Mm,
like 7, 8, 9, or 10, you really don't have a choice. You're just going to do
yeah.
that thing or feel that feeling or have that pain.
Yeah. It's all consuming at that point.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
Yes.
okay, if I could just get this under control, I could figure out what to do next.
But then we
You know,
can't get it under control.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you can't fix that thing with the thinking that got you into that thing. You have to do something
Right.
different.
hmm
So, and something that's, you know, physical and mental, like what EFT is doing is, you know, is powerful, because it's like, okay, all I have to do is tap here, right? You know, and then stuff comes up. But if you're focusing on the sadness, you only intensify the sadness.
Or
Right?
focus on it when you're tapping,
Yeah.
and it will release. It will release. Because these things, they used to use that word psychosomatic, and I haven't
Yeah.
really hearing it, but like, how do we separate our mind, our body,
Mm-hmm.
our emotions? No, we're all one unit. So the tapping brings all those together to try to process what we
Yeah.
need to process.
Yeah.
And
It's powerful.
it's good reason that you miss your family. They're far
Yeah.
away, and yeah. So just to, instead of trying to, sweep it under the rug or hide it in the closet,
Yeah.
just, we don't want to fuel it, but we don't do that with tapping.
No.
It helps to bring things down.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
It's like, you know, when
honoring
you
it in
burn
a
the
way.
leaves in the fall and you've got this huge pile of leaves and this massive fire, and then you like pour water on it, and then there's like a lot of smoke. So you can tell that there was a fire, but you know, the smoke is, you know, more manageable than the heat of the fire, you know, and then if you don't put it out long enough, you might see some more flames, you know, and then you pour some more water on it. And that's kind of like what we're doing as we're moving through. We're just like douse it a little bit, feel that, okay, notice what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I see it. That's how,
Good.
you know,
Love
that's
it.
how I feel it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just trying to log on. I was just trying to check and see if there were any questions in the group, but I don't see any questions on the stream. So.
I think the holiday food thing, I'd love to tell people how
Yeah.
you help tap on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's never about the food. People don't like hearing that, And the whole holiday thing with homemade and food is love and whatever, but you're going to go somewhere and you feel like you might have trouble with the food there, or you tend to overindulge at the holidays. What we want to do, we can tap, before we go. We can actually, I teach people to tap on their fingertips. You can be under the table, hiding these, here comes the food that I want, thinking about, I'm in a restaurant. Here comes the bread basket. My hand's hidden under the table, even though it's not right now. Here comes the bread basket. I always give in, this is the thoughts. I can just be running these ideas through my mind and bringing that craving down from, you know, that over 5 to the under 5 place where we have a say. But with food, so the issue with food is what we like about it.
Yeah.
So when we're sad or in pain, it's easy to say, you know, I'm in pain, I'm in pain. But with food, it's all those things we like. So, you know, for me, it was that, you know, the creaminess of the ice cream, and it was my favorite flavor, you know, so you're focusing on what you like about it. And all of a sudden it's, I don't know, I was just shaking my head. So for me, the ice cream was the tip of the iceberg above the water. Why was I going for a double scoop of ice cream every day? Clearly, I didn't need that. It's because I'm one of 10 children. There was 12 people at the dinner table. My mother used to cut the box of ice cream in half for tonight, half for tomorrow. I never got enough. So now, as an adult, I was solving that problem with my double scoop of ice cream. I got enough. It really wasn't about the ice cream. So when I tapped and I realized this enough issue was my hang up, that's what I needed to tap on. That was the part under the water, the bigger part of the iceberg. And once I tapped on that, I didn't care about it. There was another thing, being one of 10 kids, you just didn't have a say. I had a really great childhood. I wouldn't change it for anything, but you just didn't have a say when you're one of 10. So again, this double scoop solved that problem too. You know, and I'm a grown-up now. I don't need to solve that problem every day with an ice cream cone. I can, you know, I have a say. If I want to have a say, I have a say. So I was able to look at those drivers and clear those. And then I was like, oh, okay. And I actually, I don't know that I've had ice cream. I haven't had ice cream in over a year, but, you know, I used to sometimes eat it like once or twice a year. And I was like, oh, this is too sweet. You know, just a whole different thing. It wasn't like I'd fall off the wagon if I had it. It was really gone. The craving for it was gone. So I've helped a lot of people with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's so powerful when you look at, I mean, especially sugar. Usually it's a regressive act when you're craving sugar. It's like when I was a kid, you know, I ate this and I felt better, or, you know, I never had enough. And when I got my first job, I would spend all my money on candy. And, you know, I want to remember what that feels like to have that. It's usually something that happened way before, because they actually, you know, there isn't a need for it. There's no nutritional need for it. And that's one of the things that I talk about in that Loving Your Body Healthy course a lot, is that, like, you know, we look at, you know, the diet industry or the food industry and the way things are set up in this country with the food system, and we try all these different things. No one thing is designed to help everyone. You know, no one diet is designed to help everyone. No one way of life is designed to help everyone. But we look at it every time we fail, we slip up. Oh my goodness, I had the ice cream. Now you're like, what's wrong with me? I can't believe I didn't eat. I can't believe I ate the ice cream. I can't believe I gave in. I can't believe I had 4 pieces of pie at Thanksgiving. Why did I need to have so much gravy? Why did I have so much wine? And it's just this whole thing of beating yourself up because you're looking at it like there's something wrong with you, instead of, you know, gaining a tool that helps you understand why you're thinking that way and accepting yourself. Because the thing is, we think that we need to be punished into doing the right thing, but the mind doesn't work that way. The mind wants to move you away from something that feels bad and towards something that feels good. So when you're, you know, when you're tapping on something where people are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I always give in on the bread. I can't believe I always give in on the bread. I can't believe, you know, it's like, oh, okay, you know, that is something that happened, but there's a level of like, this is not bad. This is just something that is. And so your mind naturally wants to look for that solution. It wants to explore that because it feels good. It feels good.
Yes, it's actually a solution. That's the perfect word. For me, it was a solution.
Yeah.
You know, if I stopped looking at it as a problem and realized that what it was trying to solve, I'm a grown-up now. I have different tools for solving this problem.
Yeah.
You know, I've been using ice cream for.
Because we didn't have tools when we were a kid.
We don't.
You know, we had no power and no coping skills and no tools. So our only, you know, our only solution was eat more, or eat less, or don't eat, or eat too much.
Mhm.
You know, those were the only things that we could
Right.
control,
Yes.
you know, and so when you face that same feeling as an adult, you're naturally wired to go back to that behavior.
Very much. Right.
And all you're doing now is installing a different coping mechanism. I mean, I do that so much when I do a lot of work with people in recovery. And I think that, you know, there's such a negative stigma around them having, you know, oh, like, you have a drug problem, you have an alcohol problem, you know. And I'm like, no, you learned a coping mechanism
Right.
that at a time when you were vulnerable, that was not a good coping mechanism. And now you're learning better coping mechanisms. And that's all that we're doing through stuff like this is,
Right.
you know, teaching ourselves better coping mechanisms, giving ourselves more tools so that when something does happen, oh, am I going to eat that cake, or am I going to tap, or am I going to roll my eyes up and feel more relaxed, or, you know, am I going to give into that ice cream because it's Thanksgiving and I don't want to feel guilt about it, but you know what, that's fine if I'm only doing it once in a while.
Right.
You know, so you have options now. You
Mhm.
have, you know, you have more solutions.
Yes. And
Yeah.
if we lose the battle mentality, what we resist persists. And the longer we battle with ourselves and our issues, the more they get a firmer hold.
Yeah. Because you're focusing on it. So, you know, what you resist persists, what you focus on expands, what you focus on you find. You know, there's all these sayings, and people are like, oh, that's a cool saying. Yeah, but you know, how does that really hit? How does that really affect you? What's really going on there? Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you, Casey?
You can find me online at Cape EFT. That stands for the Emotional Freedom Techniques, Cape EFT Associates. People can call me or text me at 508-237-5492.
Okay. Cool. And I'll share that link in the group when we're done here as well.
Great. Thank you.
Do you have anything else you wanted to?
No, I just encourage people to play with tapping on their own. If they have a big struggle, I hope they reach out to you or to me, because I love working with people with trauma and, you know, all kinds of issues. I also encourage people, if they're at a talk therapist, to think about tapping on some of the points. It will process it more quickly than just the verbal. Yeah, because it brings in the body. So yeah, just play with the tapping. There's lots online. Reach out. Yeah. So many things aren't our fault. They're just survival. We're trying to survive, and there's solutions at the time that don't work for us anymore. And how can we get over them? Well, we can. Yeah. And are you still doing classes? Yeah, I'm still doing a homeopathy class, and I'm probably going to have I've done weight loss without willpower classes, using the tapping. So yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. No, I love those. I always I want to go to one of those, and I never quite made it. It was like, you know, because it's a 6-week program, right? Usually. And it was always one of the weeks that wouldn't work for me. Yeah. I do record. And so people, if they miss, you do. Okay. I don't encourage people to miss a lot of them, but if they miss one, because I like to be interactive, I like to work with small groups. Yeah. In my classes. So yeah, it's so powerful. I mean, even when another thing people can do if they go to my website is they can look for the little button that says traffic light tapping, and that's a free 15-minute tapping session with me where people can learn that, you know, again, get a review on the tapping tool. It doesn't have the words, so it's simpler. It's something people can do. I've taught it to people, and they've gone and taught it to people that same day. So that's cool. really easy. They use it in places like Rwanda, where there's been genocide, where there's language barriers, you know, so people can just calm their nervous system even in the worst of environments. Wow, that's called traffic light tapping, and I like to teach it in schools. If anybody knows a classroom that needs help. Yeah. Okay, that's something interesting, because I had someone else ask about that recently. And I'll find her information, and maybe I'll connect you to. Thank you. Awesome. Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Chantell. Always a pleasure to spend time with you. It's lovely. We'll be in touch. Okay. Bye. Bye.